Thank you, Asha. That's such a generous compliment and better live up to the expectation here.
We
Uh,
know you will.
I will try. So it's great pleasure to be here today. Can you guys hear me okay? Asha, is the volume okay? Good enough?
It's okay for me. Can some of the students tell us? Elizabeth, Samantha, are you
Is
okay?
it good enough? Sum up? Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm good.
good,
It
good.
it sounds great.
Wonderful. Okay, so sometimes I don't speak very loud, so I just need to be a little bit mindful of that. I want to thank Asha's invitation. It's always fun discussing leadership topic with our future leaders here. I imagine the reason you are here today is you aspire to be a leader of a business or a community in the future, or you're already a budding leader and want to build more skills. So 30 years ago, I almost 30 years ago, I was one of you sitting in these classes with many beautiful dreams of the future. And I want to tell you that only if you dream, you can possibly work on those dreams, right? And do best to make it happen in the future. Today, I want to use the next about 20 minutes to share my thoughts on leadership. I want to let you know I'm nowhere near of fully understanding this subject and far from mastering the skills that are required to be a great leader. But I think I can say is I'm more experienced practicing leadership in my personal and business life and have learned more about what worked, what did not work because I've been around longer. And today I'll share some of the experience with you. So I want to discuss four main topics today. Number one is why leadership is important. Number two is there are no born leaders, and leadership is an acquired skill, takes courage, confidence, and much practice to become a true leader. And the third one is the importance of having strong advocacy in an organization, why that's important to the leadership skills. And lastly, I want to discuss a little bit about how to be a strong leader and be a woman at the same time. Basically, gender differences in leadership. I have to touch on this subject because diversity inclusion is something very important to me. Okay, so I'm going to move to topic number one. Why leadership is important. Many of you may think, why do I even discuss this? Of course, it's important because you are in this class, right? Because you want to be successful in the future and you want to achieve some important career goals and you want to become a leader. And that's why leadership is important. I would say all these answers are good and correct. And I do want to share a few other reasons that, from a little bit different perspective, why leadership is important. And I used to think this way as well. Then as I matured and seasoned, I've come to the realization that real satisfaction of becoming a leader is, it's not so much the ability of leading others, it is actually the ability of leading myself. And I think true leaders should share a lot of common traits such as, self-awareness, relentless improving oneself, perseverance, empathy, empowerment, having a vision. Most importantly to me is a sense of humility as a leader. If a leader can truly master these traits, just imagine the power of leading by example. That is immense. When I realize I'm becoming a better version of myself every year, I feel very satisfied. But in this process, I also realize I've become a better leader. It is almost to me, looking back, it's very interesting that it is almost like becoming a better leader was a byproduct of becoming a better self. I'm stronger mentally and happier with life, more comfortable with who I am, and more confident in my decision making and my judgments. I'm also a better leader at the same time. I hope this makes sense to you. So I'm going to, tell the story about me, and hope through this story you will see the process of becoming leader and the ability of leading oneself is really one and the same. I came to the U.S. just about 30 years ago, with a college degree and $100 in my pocket. I had two large suitcases, extra large, actually very heavy, because that's all I had. I stumbled on accounting and tax, and that could be another story over lunch. Why I say I stumbled on accounting and tax because it was really by accident, and got an MBA, degree in taxation from Cal State East Bay. Started internship at our current firm, like Moss Adams, and 3 months after that, I came back full time because I got an offer, and the rest is history. On my LinkedIn profile, if you look at, I have my taglines, I had a one-line resume. I'm planning to keep it that way. Accounting industry, I would now say, it's not usually deemed to be one of the most exciting careers out there. But I want to tell you, my career at Mouse Adams, I think is nothing but exciting. I truly think, how much fun you have with your career, how much you can do with your job, largely had a lot to do with how much you want to make it fun and the goals you set for yourself. I started as an entry-level tax preparer, and actually as an intern and entry-level tax preparer. Over time, I would say I became a tax advisor and advising clients about their tax planning opportunities and turning my service into potential money saving techniques for clients so they can reinvest the money we saved for them back into their business. And I felt really good about that. Then as I said more about clients' business, over time I feel I've become more just understand their business much more and really evolved into a business advisor rather than just tax advisor. In this process, I built many, trusting relationships with clients, and many of my calls with clients is really not around tax. It's around their business, their life, their long-term goals. And sometimes we even get into, their relationships. And, I joke about, oh, I know my tax knowledge, but also over time, in college, I should have majored psychology because I felt I'm becoming sort of like an amateur therapist, sometimes with our clients. But also on the administrative side, internally, I started to manage our tax department in San Francisco office. And when I was a senior manager, 8 years into public accounting. Then I started to manage the tax practice for the region. And then I became the partner in charge of the San Francisco office, and we have about 200 people. About 5 years ago, our firm saw an opportunity with inbound Chinese investments. So I spearheaded our China practice for the firm. It is sort of like a startup company in an established business. There were lots of unknown factors. I had to change my way of thinking quite a bit because this is, one thing I had to switch my thought quite a bit is to actually, it's about building a process with a new practice rather than just following an existing system or existing process. There were many internal hurdles, and not because anybody purposely set those hurdles, in front of me. It's really because the existing system did not count for the uniqueness of this practice. If CPA firms, we have, tax services and audit services, consulting services, and we have physical locations, San Francisco. Mouse Adams has about 30 locations. We have about, over 30 industry focuses to better serve our clients. So in our firm, we're very used to, service lines and locations and, industry focuses. But, China practices really doesn't look like anything the firm is used to. Because, with the practice, we have clients that in all different industries. And we also have clients who are engaged, who engage us with audit, tax, and consulting services. And we also have clients all over the firm. So, it's kind of intertwined with a lot of existing things in the firm and how to build a balance between the existing system and also accommodate the nature of the new practice. It took me quite a bit to discuss with the firm leadership to make sure everyone recognizes this aspect and provide recommendations and how to make it work with our existing system and process. It was very intriguing intellectually, but the execution, I tell you, was challenging. Building a practice from zero definitely gave me a very different perspective in terms of leadership. Over these serious positions with the firm, I've grown as a professional, learned a lot about myself, and learned about my strengths, area for me to improve. In the meantime, I also learned to work with the team, how to build a team from one to many, and how to build loyalty, and how to inspire others with my vision, how to empower others. I feel each year looking back, I've improved myself and also feel I've improved as a leader. The journey to become a good leader is really never ending. Over the past year with the pandemic, I've learned quite a bit. Again, started March 15, 2020, when I've been working from home. Initially, there was much uncertainty about the economic side, right? We were We weren't sure, how bad it was going to be, and we're concerned about economic downturn. It's going to be impact our clients, and as a result, where our practice is going to be impacted, and our financial aspect may suffer. But at the same time, really more importantly, is we were concerned about how we can support our team. Make sure we have the right equipment for them to work from home, and the team stay engaged, motivated, and feel socially connected. It was a huge challenge. We tackled this issue from multiple fronts. We have had many one-on-one video calls with select team members. We organized team gatherings and happy hours, by level, by practice focus. We were honest on those calls and share our personal challenges. And we also shared the tips, how to overcome these challenges. We did our best to keep the message uplifting, but at the same time, want to be realistic when we communicate with the team. We have learned, I tell you, I've learned lots of games, the appropriate games to play for, video meetings over the past year. Like we had like bi-weekly meetings with the team, and it was not an easy year. But we were able to get through that, with good financial results and good morale. So I hope by sharing this experience, you can see the ability of leading oneself goes hand in hand with the ability of leading others. This is a message I want to share with you today. Career success is very important, it's very fulfilling, but I do think becoming a well-rounded individual can eventually bring more happiness to our lives. And that's something I think very, very important. Just like career achievement does not always bring inner peace to us, right? But being comfortable with who we are and confidence with ourselves does bring inner peace to us, a much better way of defining who we are anyway. Okay, so that's my first topic. The second one I want to talk about is I really don't think any of us are born to be natural leaders. We may have some leadership traits in us, right? But to really claim someone as a strong leader, it takes much practice. It also takes courage to raise, our hands when we see an opportunity. It takes bold vision, sometimes to get to next steps. So our teams is inspired, right? And is willing to follow our vision. We all start from someplace, and it is okay. You are not a leader today. If I tell you I was very shy when I first started Moss Adams and was usually the last one to talk at a group meeting, you might not believe me, but it's really true. I'll be very nervous for hours before I pick up the phone and talk to a client about their questions. The way I see it is that every one of us, has a zone that we normally operate. I call it comfort zone. To become a leader or a more capable version of ourselves, we need to consistently expand our comfort zone. The bigger our zone is, the more we can handle, the more comfortable we are with tasks at hand. It takes a lot of practice. Some of them may work well, some of them may not work well, but we need to keep trying, right? Keep moving forward. Having perseverance or grit is critical in this process. Don't give up and relentlessly push ourselves and ask myself, am I a better version today as a human being than yesterday? I'm a better professional this year than last year? And I always want the answer to be yes. When the firm asked me to be partner in charge of San Francisco office, it was quite intimidating, to be honest. As an Asian female, when I attended, managing partner meetings in the Bay Area for accounting firms, I don't see many women, let alone Asian women. I was very grateful for the confidence and the trust from the firm leadership to put me in charge of the office. But at the same time, I had much to learn and a lot to think about and to plan to make sure the office is well managed. And in this process, I've grown and gained experience and have become a better leader over the years. So we all start from somewhere, right? Your starting point may be today, and you will be amazed with your progress in 5 years and 10 years. So have confidence in yourself and keep expanding your comfort zone and keep pushing yourself. So now I'm going to move down to my third topic, which is important of having strong advocacy in the organization. The importance of having strong advocacy. This is essential for us to gain leadership opportunities, where we work. 3 professional relationships I think are extremely important in one's career. That is mentorship, career advisor, and also sponsorship/advocacy. And you may ask how to distinguish these 3 roles, right, in your professional life. The easiest way to remember, this is how I remember these three roles is a mentor is someone who talks with you, and these are the people who share their life experience with you, share their like life journey, and tell you how they overcome similar challenges with you. And a career advisor is someone who talks to you, and these are the people that who can guide you through your career, who will help you with your long-term career planning, build up strategies. And an advocate or a sponsor is someone who talks about you, and they're the one pounding the table behind the scenes and say how great you are to deserve that bonus or that promotion. And having all three roles in one's career is a huge blessing. I would highly encourage you to seek out mentorship and career advisors. And these roles can be inside the organization or can be outside. They don't have to be always the people who work in the same organization. Over the years, I've mentored many people, outside Moss Adams, and coached many people outside Moss Adams, and can be very effective actually. Sponsorship, though, advocacy needs to be someone inside the organization, and this person tends to be someone above your level and can advocate for you behind doors when you are not at the table. And having strong advocate inside your organization is extremely important. When I was a young professional, I had a desire to be a leader, but it took someone, who recognized me and the decision-making level trusted me and willing to give me a try. I was very fortunate to have this strong advocacy and still have it over the years at Moss Adams. And to be recognized in the organization and to be able to get into leadership positions, we really need to have the qualification to earn it. But at the same time, we need strong advocacy to give us the opportunity. I highly recommend you seek this relationship within your existing organization if you don't already have one. And lastly, I want to discuss something kind of near and dear to my heart, which is gender difference in leadership. I understand this is the class topic today, and I did not have time to review the class content beforehand, so I hope my conversation today is consistent with what you're discussing. I'm a big advocate for women and diversity inclusion. As a woman, an Asian, and first-generation immigrant, this topic is particularly relevant to me. When you talk to women leadership, women leaders, you may hear different thoughts on this topic. There are tons of books out there. I remember, years ago I read like Play Like a Man, Win Like a Woman, or Nice Girls Don't Get the Corner Office. And there's so many books out there. I want to share a few thoughts on this topic. And these are more for discussion and obviously only represent my personal views. The first one is I think there are definitely differences in leadership styles. And the importance of this part, recognizes is as a woman, with today's corporate environment and corporate culture, we need to understand the differences in styles so we know how to communicate with men. And oftentimes, because they may be our bosses, right? We want to know how to communicate with them. We want to recognize the differences and know how to, communicate with our male leaders so we're heard and we're valued. And I think this is absolutely critical for us as women to reach out halfway to better understand our counterpart. Only thing is we may need to do a little bit more than men these days because as male leaders still dominate in corporate America. The second thing I want to talk about, with under this topic is we need to know how to express ourselves in a male dominant environment. We don't want to fall into these stereotypes such as, being emotional, indecisive, in a management meeting, I try not to say I feel, instead I say I think. I don't want our male colleagues tune out as soon as we start talking. And the third item I want to talk about is, earlier today when we had in my first topic, having a good understanding of ourselves is very important. Maximize what we are good at, such as we can be very effective communicators, as female. We're articulate. We can be empathetic. We tend to be more compassionate. And these are our advantages. We want to, play to that strength. We can be very decisive in decision making, but we're also very good at consensus building. And we're not, usually out there to win and the other party has to lose. Rather, we usually try to find ways to win for both parties, right? So understanding our leadership styles and know how to play to our advantage can be very helpful as a leader. And number four is we need to be willing to share our thoughts and our styles with our male colleagues. This is an education process, and we want to keep an open mind and be an advocate for ourselves and our future women leaders. So our male colleagues have better understanding where we come from and why we lead the way we lead. So the bottom line is that I think the true leader needs to really possess the essential leadership qualities regardless of gender. The best leaders probably are the ones who can balance the traditional male traits and the female traits and weave them into a cohesive package. We should always strive to be well-balanced leader, but to me, there's nothing wrong with play like a woman and lead like a woman. Actually, I'm quite proud of that myself. So to summarize, I focus on four areas today. One is in order to lead others, we better be able to lead ourselves. This is essential for us to become a well-rounded human being. Second is leadership takes practice, takes courage, and takes grit. Third, we discuss the importance of strong advocate in the organization. This can be essential for us to gain leadership opportunities. And lastly, there are gender differences in leadership. We want to understand it, and we want to learn to maximize our strengths and lead with our unique styles. So that concludes my quick conversation today. I'm open to questions.